before I sent in my second video, I scrapped the whole thing and redid it because it was just like, it felt so much like I was giving like a PowerPoint presentation of everything that you need to know about me. When really the most important thing that they need to know from the video is like, the first time I applied, I like spent time like, what can I say to like make them want to cast me? And I like wrote it all down. I was like, I can't miss this point, can't miss that point. Like I remember I set up like a little camcorder and I like pasted my like notes underneath it on the tripod. Not like I couldn't read it all, but like I would reference it or whatever, or look at it. Or it was just like, you want to be natural. You want to not come over prepared. Like they want to just see you like, this is what it's like hanging out with, like, they want you to give off the vibe like you're just hanging out with your best friend at a bar. And like they want you to be yourself, yes, but they want you to be like the most energetic version of yourself. Like they want you to like be excited and like loud, and you're making hand motions and you're inflecting your voicing and all that stuff. Like, because they want to know, like, okay, this is what you look like now. Now, what would you look like if you are exhausted, if you're starving, if you're stressed out, and you're on this beach? Because obviously your energy levels, your tank is going to be a third of what it is now. So if you're already sounding dry and quiet and like bored, like if you add on top of that everything that comes from playing Survivor, it's just going to be even worse. So they want you to be yourself, but like the most animated version of yourself.
Right.
And
like yourself on crack.
exactly. And I'm not saying I'm like recommending this or saying you should do this, but there was someone on my cast who, had a few beers before their audition tape just to loosen up. And if that helps you, go, maybe consider it. Do whatever you need to do to loosen up, because it is awkward talking to a camera by yourself.
Oh, so weird. So weird.
You get trained during the casting process because they make you say all these different things to the camera and you're talking to all these different people. But yeah, be yourself, be the most energetic, animated version of yourself. And you don't want to be, and this was what my casting director said to me, like over and over again. It's like, you're not doing a job interview. You're not interviewing. Like so many people who come from a professional background or whatever, they treat these like a job interview. It's not that. You truly just want to be like hanging out with your best friends at a bar. You want them to leave this being like, wow, like I had a good time. Like I want to talk to this person more. As opposed to like, yeah, like they've got everything needed to like be on Survivor. It's like, it's just like, it's a vibe thing.
100%. Yeah. I think one of the biggest tips I've had, I forget where I saw it, probably on YouTube somewhere, but it's just when you're talking to the camera to just like try and imagine like your best friend on the other side of the camera. Like, and I know it's hard and it sounds easy, but it is difficult to do. But since starting like this YouTube channel, and a couple other ones, like I remember when I first started, I'm like, it's not natural, right? Like you're in a room by yourself. You're like, even though no one is looking at you, you feel like everyone is looking at you and like all eyes are on you. And it's just feels weird.
Yeah. Some of the funniest, most charismatic people that I know, you put a camera in front of them and it's like done, shot. It's like as if like they're a completely different person. And you just got to like train that muscle and practice it. When I was doing my audition tape, I was like picturing myself like giving a confessional on an island. So I remember I was like sitting on a rock, had my legs out like as if I was positioned for confessional. And I was like convincing myself, like, I'm on Survivor. I'm giving a confessional about my life. Like this will be what they show for the intro packet or whatever, and like I was just talking and whatever.
Do you remember what you talked about in your video?
Yeah. So basically I spent like, so it's like 3 minutes. I probably spent like, first 15 seconds, you need to just hook them in. Like, it doesn't really even matter what you say. You just got to like bring in super high energy. So like my first like 10, 15 seconds of the video is just like a selfie video being like, what's up? Like, my name's Austin. Like, I am so stoked to be applying, like blah, 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 or something. I was like, the last 3 dreams that I had, like was, Jeff Probst in there. Like, I need this so bad, whatever. Just like a quick thing, whatever. And then it was like cut to me sitting on this rock, giving a confessional. And I was like, probably spent, like 30, 40 seconds doing like a quick background up to speed. Like, yep, I, grew up here. I do this now, whatever. But like, you want to say it also in a way where you're like telling stories as opposed to being like, yeah, like I grew up in San Jose and then I moved to Indiana and then I moved to DC and like, I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh whatever. They want you to like tell stories. So I remember I told this like story, and like there's a couple. Sorry, I'm saying so many things at once. So
No,
they
you're
want to
fine.
know
You're
who
fine.
you are a little bit. They also, I think what's important and what helped is like they want to show like to see your layers. Like they want to understand like how people perceive you and how that's different from how you actually are, slash maybe how you'd be able to utilize that. So like my thing there was sort of like, yeah, like, you know, I come across as this like broy dude, you know, surfer guy from California, but like, you know, I'm, you know, smart, I'm academically focused. Like at the time I was working like in DC, like doing economic consulting with a bunch of these like, you know, attorneys and like government people. And I was like, you know, talking about all that. It's like, you would never guess, blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, I like flashed through all their faces and stuff like that. And they want to hear about your layers. Um, and then one thing that they're really interested in, and something that like they needed me to like tell stories of this during the interview process, was that like they are skeptical a lot of times with these like nice people and professional people. Be like, do you really have what it takes to like backstab someone? Like, tell us a time where you like stepped over someone to get what you wanted. So like having a good story for that. I remember I told this story about how like in 8th grade, I really wanted to join the volleyball team, but I, you know, during tryouts, I didn't do very well. And like, basically like I was put into like this court with all the people who are going to get cut. And then the next day I snuck into the coach's office and I erased my number and someone else's number because we were on these different lists, and I swapped them. I ended up making the team.
Dude, that's
And
awesome.
awesome, but like pretty
So
sketchy.
funny.
You know,
It is
that's the
sketchy.
story that, yeah. So I mean, you know, now it's enough time has passed where it's like fine, I can share it. But yeah, they wanna know like you're not just a nice guy. You're not just like, you know, there for the experience. Like you are going to be making big moves. You want to like have fun and really take advantage of the full experience. And that you're not going to quit. If they
Yeah.
have any inkling that you might quit, they're not going to want you. And you have to
Right.
really convince them that like, hey, like, no, I'm in it. I can suffer. I've done hard things. So they like hearing about like the challenges you've overcome, hard things you've been through, times where you've, you know, maybe taken advantage of someone else or whatever. Before I sent in my second video, I scrapped the whole thing and redid it because it was just like, it felt so much like I was giving like a PowerPoint presentation of everything that you need to know about me. When really the most important thing that they need to know from the video is like, would you like potentially be good TV? And then you have like, you know, the next step really like you fill out this form, this 7-page form where you answer a lot of these questions, where you can put all this background information that's like less interesting, but it's like helpful for them to know. And then you like have these like hour-long conversations with your casting person where you can then share all these things. But like when you only have 3 minutes, like don't waste it listing facts about yourself. Just like think of the most entertaining tidbits of stories and info that you can say and like throw it out there. And one of my good buddies here in LA, Zach Wurtenberger, I thought he had the one of the coolest ways that I've heard of like making a casting video. Basically, what he did was one weekend, he just went to his backyard, set up a camera, and recorded himself for like 4 hours a day for like the entire weekend, and then condensed it down to like the most entertaining 3 minutes of it.
That's a good
And then
idea.
submitted that, and it was good. Cause like, and that's something like too, if you're like shy in front of a camera, have it recording so long you forget about it and just like, you know, just start talking to it, do different things. And like, I'm sure if you record yourself for 10 hours, you'll be able to find 3 good
You'll
minutes.
get something good out of it.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip. Nice.